Welcome to Tiny Table Radio Talks. I'm Cory Austin, and I'm joined today by Marlon Ace. He is a DJ and producer from New York, lives in Staten Island now. And Marlon, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Cory, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that you've made good friends with Bobo, our second dog. We've had him in for a couple of months now, so settling in quite nice with the guests. So
I'm a bit of a dog whisperer.
That's good. Yeah, Parker was caught onto that really quickly when you walked into. So, first place I like to start with everyone is just tell me a bit about your background of how you got started in DJing, how you got started in producing, what inspired that.
So interesting enough, the first time I ever DJed was on 9/11 because I couldn't get home. And my best friend said, well, come to my house. I just bought turntables. So we could spend some time there. And that's when I started DJing. But we're just dabbling in it, playing some records. Then 3 years later, since I was always attracted to music, I was like, well, I want to express myself in a different way, share it with people. And then professionally started DJing everything under the sun, every genre.
Yeah.
I've always loved electronic music, even from like the classics to the Tiesto coming of age.
Yep.
So then I focused more on electronic music. And then I said, well, if I like this, I want to learn how to make it. And that's how the production process started. And just started dabbling. Luckily we have YouTube where I can start learning without knowing the right people. And then eventually through the learning process, started meeting the right people and take me down this road that I'm on now.
Yeah, nice. But so that was September, like 2001, like when it really happened. Yeah. And you were in New York.
In New York, yeah.
Wow.
Because I was in school in Edward Morrow, Midwood.
Wow. Yeah, I know my wife was here. I wasn't here yet, but I know that probably has to stand out as quite a vivid like memory and moment.
Yeah. Because I remember we were on Brighton Beach, on Brighton 4th, right next to the boardwalk. The two turntables set up, and there was the plume of smoke going into the horizon.
Gosh.
Yeah, and that was the first day I ever DJed, which is
wow.
It's a wild story.
That is, I think that might be one of the most unique. I first started DJing when stories I definitely ever heard. So obviously that was a big experience, and you mentioned Tiesto and some other early and like a wide range of classic genres. But was there anyone in particular that really like got you hooked, or like any sound that got you hooked? Like more than anything, you're like, okay, I got to keep diving into this.
Definitely going back to Tiesto, but like the classic Tiesto, like classic trance anthems, which honestly now is basically converted into melodic house and techno.
Right. Just same thing, different genre on Beatport.
Those beat vocals, this synthesized sound that clearly isn't organic, but it feels organic. It gives you this euphoric feeling while you're dancing to it.
Yep.
But then from Tiesto, I got into DJs like Laid Back Luke, because not only was he a producer, but he really enjoyed the craft and the art of DJing, taking the risks, not mixing everything at the end, mixing house music as if you were mixing hip hop or any other genre. Yeah. So between those two.
Nice. And I know you've said you've released a few songs already. You're working on picking that up this year for sure. The producing part of it, do you have like a specific like process, or like what's that creativity like for you?
Yeah, for me, it's interesting because I've spoken to other producers about this. For me, I always start with the bass line, and the bass line, just something simple through analog that resonates with me. And then from there, taking that and putting it through a plugin like Serum and seeing what sound I want from that bass line. Once I have that, I kind of construct the entire project around it.
Cool.
I've spoken to other producers and they're like, we usually start with melodies and then take it the other way around. So I'm like, it's interesting. Everybody has their process.
Yeah. I'm more on the other side. I grew up playing piano, and, a melody is always kind of where I've started, like a chord progression, have a kick drum, like play with a few drums, and then, see where the bass fits into that. Right. I've done a couple the opposite way, and it's been interesting to see how those have evolved for me. But like, I've always just like playing piano chords is kind of what just like works for me. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I think he's comfortable, huh?
Finally selling.
So do you have you produced like mostly kind of in like the melodic genre so far, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've tried 4 genres already.
Okay.
But they all I realized I have kind of like a signature, or at least ends up kind of melodic.
Mm-hmm.
The first one that was released was technically tech house, but it sounds very melodic.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second one was kind of like paying homage to like Tiesto, so very trancy synths, but again, falls back kind of into like melodic theme.
Yeah.
Then I have a deep house one, but in the middle of it, you can feel the melodic theme.
Sure.
So I'm like, oh, okay, I have a signature,
Yeah.
and I wasn't planned. It's kind of like, all right, this is my sound. So I'm hoping to hone into it.
Yeah. I feel like that's a better way for you to discover your sound rather than be like, this is my sound, and then go try to force it into
Right.
something. Right. So, do you have a vision for how you want that to evolve this year with your production?
I do. I want
like,
the best interview dog.
Yeah.
I do. I want this year to be focused strictly on Afro melodic.
Okay.
I want music with a lot of percussions, with deep drums.
Yeah.
But that again, that synthetic sound that feels natural and euphoric. But I wanted to have the essence, that tribal essence in the background.
Yeah.
I was born in Dominican Republic. There's a lot of African influence in my country, and those drums and percussions always resonate in all the music of the culture. So I wanted to resonate in my music as well.
Nice. Are there any like classic Dominican songs or artists that stand out that you're like, hey, I really want to take something from that or sample the vocal from that and really start to use that? Or maybe it's the percussion elements from it. Is there anything that sticks out in your head that you're like, okay, I want to go there now?
Yeah. The person is Juan Luis Guerra.
Okay.
And this phenomenal Dominican artist, studied at Berkeley, went back to the Dominican Republic, knows his craft in and out. He's the reason why bachata became so popular, because he transformed it into something that was, kind of crude and made it elegant, and that made it popular in the country. And from there, it inspired other generations, and it bled all the way down to, now we have like Aventura playing bachata in the White House. So I'm like, I want to take from a master like that. I want to, I have some of his vocals that I'm working on. And it fits perfectly with what I want to do, because it has the percussions, it has the emotion. And it's someone that's clearly a master. So I'm like, I want to follow in those footsteps.
Nice. Yeah. I feel like if it comes from something that you're really connected to, it's going to resonate with more people too, right? Because it's just part of your essence, who you are. So I'm really excited to hear how that comes out when you finish. So finish it up.
I'm working on the chord progression now. That's where I was like, okay, let's figure this chord progression. Nice. I can make or break it.
Nice. It's a process. Let's switch over to DJing for a minute. A couple of questions for you here. You said you started September 11th. 2001, but when did you start to actually say, okay, I want to actually perform for other people? I go from, just hanging out in a friend's house or whatever, and just doing it casually to, okay, I want to perform, I want to play a gig. And what was that?
I would say it started like around 2004, 2005.
Okay.
When finally we're like,
4 years
okay,
in.
we're comfortable into this. How do I get booked? I don't really know anyone. Right. Just walk into a bar. It's like, hey, listen, where's the manager? I'll play one day for free just so you can give me a chance to hear me out and see what happens. So that worked out, because it started in Bay Ridge in Brooklyn. Nice. This bar called Peggy O'Neill's. And then from there evolved into lounges within Bay Ridge, and then more into the city. And then I was really focused on house music. So this is the time with Pasha. It just opened.
Yeah.
I had the great pleasure of playing at just the basement small level at Pasha one day. I still have the Pasha demo on my SoundCloud. And I was like, oh, this is great. Like, this is going well. It's kind of just spilling into it. But, it's New York. There's a lot of opportunities, but it's also, like you have to realize that in order to move further, you need to create. So it took me a while to realize that.
Yep. No, and I'm the same way. I had dabbled in production, but really was DJing that made me realize, okay, I have to pursue the production process, and I want to pursue it more in order to be able to actually be, differentiate myself from anyone else. Can play all of the same songs that I'm playing that other people have created. So what's my differentiating factor? So
exactly.
Is there a gig or a moment at a gig or a show that really stands out to you that was like a really just a peak moment in your music journey?
recently, last year, when I was playing with Gypsy Sofa. The first time I played with Gypsy Sofa. Just because, one, like I was able to play whatever I wanted. Some of the issues in the music industry is like, yeah, you can play, but you should stick to this genre. You should do this.
Yep.
I'm lucky enough to now work with Gypsy Sofa and the Chitana group because they put the artist first. They're like, hey, listen, we want you to play. This is the setup. You do whatever you want. Do whatever you want.
Nice.
And that's what happened. And in doing so, I was able to express myself and then connect with the crowd and had a great time. Yeah. Still one of my favorite sets.
Yeah. So. It's definitely a much more, I would say, I played gigs. I think we all have, if we've DJ'd out somewhere where it's like, all right, you kind of have to fit what the vibe of the place is more than what you really want to perform. And then there's been other gigs where it's like, okay, I can actually just do what I want to do. Yeah, and when you're able to do that and the crowd connects with you, like there's no energy like that, right? It's just like, that's really, I think the number one reason why I like to perform.
It's the reason we do it.
Yeah. Right. It's an emotion, a feeling. Cool. And is there an artist that you would really like to collaborate with in the future? Or is there someone who you have collaborated with that you're really excited to continue working with? Anyone that stands out, whether that's a DJ. Oh, you guys going to play while we're doing this? Yeah.
Hello.
Come here.
Do you guys want to collaborate with
us? You guys want to do the yeah. So whether that's DJing or producing, is there anyone that stands out? You're like, okay, this is who I really want to work with, or I'd love to, or it could be local. It could be a dream person.
Yeah. At this point, I would love to collaborate with I'm really big into Adam 10 right now.
Yeah.
Just because he has his signature sound, but it kind of spans the full gamut of a house music spectrum. And I feel like he's having fun, but masterfully. So he's doing his thing. I'm like, this is what I like within that Adam 10, Maxima Rocky kind of vibe. If I can learn just 2 hours in the studio with them, I would learn so much just from watching. I could be a fly on the wall.
Adam, Maxi, you hearing this? Hit him up.
Yeah.
Hit me up too while you're at it. That'd be great. No, I mean, they both have awesome sounds. I think Maxi's really got a lot of good, talking about melody. I feel like he's got lots of nice chord progressions. He really has a very smooth feel to him. But Adam, man, he's got a whole range. Yeah.
It's everything. It's everything from Hey, it's one of those songs, very tribal. And then you go to 3 days later, completely different vibe, still great. I'm this is awesome.
Yep. And that's mastering a craft for sure. Is there, I will switch one more question on production here, but is there, during your process, I know we talked about it much earlier about how you start with the bass line, but do you use a certain piece of equipment, that you really enjoy, or is there anything you'd like to mess around with?
Serum the plugin. Okay. That's I guess because I'm so attracted to the whole melodic house and techno thing. Yeah. And the trancey vibes. So I'm usually deep in Serum. I've tried a lot of other synthesizers and plugins, which I'm pretty sure I will use. But I always go back to Serum because I love the sound design aspect, and there's so much you can do. It's extremely powerful. Yeah. And to me, the weirder the sound, the better. Yeah. They have a lot of very weird sounds you can start with and then just kind of tweak and carve and make your own. So, well, cool. I mean, it's been great to really get to learn about your process, about who you are in your musical journey. Couple last questions here. Are there any upcoming gigs or releases that you have coming out that you want to talk about? So currently no scheduled releases, but I am excited because in May 18th, I will be playing with the Azuri Day Party. Oh, fun. Yeah. Which is great because I had it in my checklist for this year. Nice. And I was able to at least connect with them, and they scheduled for the 18th. So yeah, I mean, Arlo Williamsburg, be there. I hope you enjoy the set that I will record here, and then you will enjoy it live. Yeah. And you have a set coming up. You give us a little preview of what that's going to be like today. So I wanted to make something that's going to give you a good example of my overall vibe and taste in music. It's not just specific one genre, but again, it goes back to a lot of percussions and drums. It's moody, a bit sensual, makes you dance, a lot of groove.
Well, you guys can't see the weather here, but it's a moody weather day too. So it's probably a perfect fit. And lastly, where can our listeners follow you, find more about you? How can they follow along your journey?
For the music, you can find me on SoundCloud, Marlon Ace, Instagram, marlonace.ofc. Or you could go directly to my website, marlonace.com. Usually the releases are posted there, everything, social media, and all the tracks can easily be found there, including the events that are coming up. So
nice. And those will all be linked in the comments as well. So
perfect.
Marlon, it's been great to chat. I'm looking forward to your set. Thanks for your time today.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right.
Also, thank you for the company.
I think Bobo enjoyed it. You might have to stay a bit longer just to be his pillow for a while. But all right. Take care.
Take care, guys.